Okay, so today we're going to learn how to create a PHP class. This is object-oriented programming. And for most of you, maybe you're doing a lot of functions together and creating one file where you can just run functions one by one. And this took me some time to learn this, so I'm going to try to run through the very basics of a class and see if we can get somewhere here. So I created a file and I called it index.php. We open it with brackets here with PHP and close it down here. As you can see, I have an echo here. Echo pretty much outputs everything, anything you put on and quotes after it to the screen. So this particular sample would just output the parent class and the child class output. So those are those two lines that you see here. Okay, so let's start by creating a class here. I'm actually using the same file to create the class, just so we can so it's easier to work on the screen here. So the first thing you want to know is that of course you want to have this within your PHP tags, of course, but each class has to start with the keyword class. Okay, and the class that will follow the name of the actual class, which pretty much it's gonna be a file where you can instantiate and create an object out of it and call methods and properties out of it. So, okay, going back, the class, you start with the class keyword, you follow by a name. The name cannot start with numbers, so this will be wrong. You have to go something like let's just call this the parent. Okay, so we got a class named parent. Please be aware, no need to do this. This is not a function, this is a class, which is going to hold a lot of stuff inside. So you open bracket, close bracket. By the way, I'm using TextMate here, but you can use any editor or text editor, Notepad++ for Windows, or even the basic Mac editor or Windows editor, Notepad. So here we go. So we got the class, and what is a class? So basically a class, it's a file. It's a file that it's whole within a file. A class is it's gonna become an object once you instantiate it, meaning it's gonna hold all your stuff. It's like having all your functions in one place where you can just talk inside of it and out of it. So it's kind of hard to explain, but you get the feel of it hopefully after this tutorial. So instead of having a separate file where you can just put, you're used to having this, function test1 and whatever you're doing here, echo the test, right? So instead of having all this functions just all over, let's see here, let's see, you're just gonna have, instead of having that line all over the place in different files, you basically just gonna have the same thing compressed within one single class name. So it's kind of like a major parent function, if we can say that, which holds a lot of stuff, if there's any relationship there. But anyway, so so here we go. There's a class would contain constants. Constants are non-variable. You know, they hold configuration stuff or things that don't change the value. That's the difference between that and a variable. And there might be other definitions, but that's my basic. That's how I understand it. It would also contain properties. They call it properties within the class. It's kind of thinking about like you're thinking about a classroom. You know, it's properties within that class room. Okay, so a property would basically be a variable. It's a variable. So if you have a variable within a class, that's a property to that class. Okay, it will also have functions, but in this case, being a member of the class, inside the class, basically inside these brackets here, we're gonna they're called methods, and that's how they call them, methods. They're called that way. So so let's you know, we have a class here. It's completely empty. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown for anybody that haven't started playing with this long. And if we go back here to our file, which, you know, let me just put it here, index PHP. Here we go. So here we go. Okay. So we got, okay, something wrong here. So I'm gonna take this out here, save it for a second. Okay, so yeah, it's erroring out because we have an empty class. So let's put something into it. So you know, we're just only outputting this, and let's get down to this. So let me put back this. We got the parent class. So let's start with a function that's called very useful. It's called construct. Construct. Here we go. So just, you know, just remember, you're gonna follow the same rules for functions. You know, you're gonna have a function, you're gonna have the name. In this case, it's underscore construct. The here the brackets. Okay. The construct underscore construct basically runs every time the object is created. You know, so every time we create this object in our PHP let's say down below here, whatever it's inside of here is gonna run. So, you know, you might want to check some database connectivity or whatever. You can do it there. There's in this case, we're just gonna go faster. I'm gonna go kind of speed up here. Constant. Let's create a constant. And by the way, these are comments. Anything you put in / in PHP will be a comment, so it would not be rendered or parsed. A constant, so the same. Define. Here we go. We put the name. In this case, we're gonna call it ATHER. Okay, what a name. Okay, and then this is the constant value. We're gonna put a break, HTML break, because we're outputting to HTML. And also we're gonna do echo. We're gonna echo ATER. Okay, so if we go back to the file, now we're not getting an error, but we're not getting anything on screen as well. So let's instantiate this class. So the way we do that, we go down within the PHP, and we go in this case we're gonna instantiation, and the way you do that, you can use any name for the variable. of your object, which is the one that's on the left. You're gonna go equal new, basically create a new object, and we're gonna call the parent. Okay, we're gonna, in this case, you have these brackets here. The parent, it's this name here. You're gonna call it down here. Of course, in order to make this work, you have to have this included either as an include of the file that contains this code here, or inline as I'm doing it. This is just a tutorial, so in pretty much every other way situation you would just include it. So if we do this, instantiate to new parent, and we go back, we save this, and we go back to this. So we're gonna get this. This is the constant value, and that's because the construct is running, and we instantiate it. So let me just move this here. I'm gonna put it underneath because it's part of the parent class. Let's just keep rolling fast here. I'm gonna actually copy some stuff here so we can go even faster. So what I'm doing here, okay, another thing from within the constructor, I put another echo here. This is also came from the constructor. We hit save. So everything we put in within the constructor is gonna output every time we instantiate the class. So let's go back, and boom, another value came just rendered to the HTML of the screen. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, so I'm gonna create a function, within the class. So let's call function. Let's go function. Let's execute it, and let's do this and go echo, entered. This is just the value I'm giving. Okay, so I'm gonna explain what I just did here. I just created another function. I named it executed, and within this brackets here, parentheses, I put another variable called entered. It doesn't matter the variable you put in here as long as you pass it when you're calling the function. And then you can use it down on your output or your return. So here we go. So we got a function executed within that class. So what happens is if you try to call executed down here on your PHP, let's go, here we go, executed, right? And you do that, and let's say you try to put something here. This is the value, okay? And we go back and we try to run that. It doesn't exist. Now, why? Because that's inside the object that you just instantiated. So in this case, we're gonna go and do instantiation, and that's only because we name it instantiation. It could be named anything, okay? And then what we do, you use -sign and less higher than symbol, okay? And then we call the function, and then we pass it a value, and then we get an output. So I'm gonna actually replace that with another content here so we don't get confused. Here we go. Okay, so what I'm saying here is from within this object I just instantiated, use this function, which is this one. It's inside the parent. Okay. Pass this value, which is gonna go like an injection to the function, and then I want you to echo it, return it back to me to the screen. Okay. Just gonna try to go faster here even, and when we refresh, we get this comes from a public function which is inside the class. Okay. I hope you guys are still following me here. This could get really complicated, confusing. I'm trying to cover a lot of ground here with maybe too fast. So every function you create in a class is defaults to being public, meaning it's accessible from everywhere. You can call it from outside, from within, from an inherited class, anywhere. Right? So let's create. There's other two types. One is the protected, which is visible to this class and inherited classes only as well. So it would be visible within this and inherited classes. It would not be visible from the outside. Okay, meaning I cannot call it like this. This is calling a public class. If it was a protected or private, you can use it only within this here. Reuse it and the inherited. And the other one was the private method, which is only available to this class, to this particular one. No other class that inherited or anything like that. It's just this one. So in this case, we're gonna do a protected class, and we go protected function. So again, if you don't specify a protected or private, it's gonna be public, which is the default. Protected function, and let's just call this one this protected. And let me go faster here, and I'm gonna copy some content, and here we go. So this is from protected world. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, just to show you guys how we can run a class within. So let's just copy this here. Protected. A protected method only accessible within class and others classes. Okay. So let's just run this one. The way we can run a function within the same class, so we can reuse our code. Let's say we're using database connections and stuff like that. We use the keyword, it's called this. So from this class, so this, run this protected. So this protected, here we go. So this protected is gonna run, of course, when the class is instantiated, because it's the construct. So I'm just putting here so you guys could see how we can call functions within the same class. Took me a while to understand this, maybe a couple of years, but okay, so here you go. So I come from that protected world, it says here, and this is here, this is this, okay, and it's showing up before the executed content, because we actually do it. The first thing that runs is a construct. So you don't have to use the construct, but you know it's very useful once you dive into this. So okay, so that's pretty much it with the parent class. I'm gonna actually go right through what is an extended class, and let me just clean the screen here a little bit. Hope you guys are still with me. I'm gonna try to summarize this as much as possible. So So what's an extended class? Basically, an extended class would be a class that could inherit all of its parents' methods, um, uh, meaning functions, properties, which are the values, and any constants, even read from the construct itself from the parent. So why would we want to do this? Why would you want to do that? Well, maybe you want to have a primary class where you have all your database connections and stuff like that you don't want to change that much, and you want to extend it and use that extended version which has all these things that inherited from that parent. Okay, and there's many users uses for this. I'm just going super basic. So you guys could have a understanding of this. So let's just go. Okay, let's create an extended class. So we go class, the child extends the parent. That will make it inherit all of this. So the new class extending the parent. So when we instantiate the child later, this is going to inherit all these methods and all these values inside this parent class. So and there's many reasons you want to do that. So let's go ahead and jump to this fun. Let's just create a function construct, and okay, and let's just put here something so we can call. Let's call from here. We can call methods from the parent class. So let's go x. We know there's an executed, and this is, we know the executed, it's here, which is in the parent class. And let's just put some content here. Okay. Okay. So okay, this is actually, this should output this first and this second. So we got, once we instantiate the child, it's gonna output whatever's in the construct, and we're calling it the method twice. So we're calling it the construct and again down here. So let's just see what happens here. Yeah, so we got this one called from the construct, and the one that we call later on right through here after we instantiate it. Okay, hope that makes sense. One last thing. Let's just I'm just gonna create a basic function, a different function the call, simple set of basic, I meant to say simple, the call, and I'm just gonna put this that I already have pre-made. I'm just gonna paste it here. So function, the name is the call, and you cannot call this from this object. It would not be available. It's one way. So you cannot call it here. It would give you an error. It's not available. But with the child class, would actually have its own methods and the one that it extended. So let's just call here. If we do instantiate and we do the call, okay, and we run this, it's actually running. It's actually outputting this, and it's also outputting this, which is from the parent function. If it makes sense, we actually called it from here. I hope this you learned something here, and I would continue with further tutorials. Again, please be aware that no need for brackets here, parentheses, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.